Now tuned into another episode of Chestnut Checkers. Make your next move your best move. I got a special guest here with me today. Let the people know who you is, bro.
Hi, my name is Bryan Mabry, and I'm the head coach of Nerdy Boxing here in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
That's what's up, man. We out here in Fredericksburg. Give a little background information. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Philadelphia.
Philly?
Yeah, I'm an ex-Philly fighter, ex-Philadelphia cop.
So the fighters come from Philly, so that should let you know something right there.
Yeah.
What was your career like?
So I never fought pro. Had a bunch of amateur fights. Did pretty well. Was a sparring partner for a lot of years. My issue with the pro game at the time was I came from an area where a lot of my coaches and individuals around the gym used to be world champions, and none of them had anything to show for it.
Yeah.
So, they're telling me how good I am, how much money I'm going to make in the future, but they at one time were world champions, and they're living in projects behind the gym.
Right.
So it was never really a push for me to be a pro.
You didn't see a way to really feed your family and stuff like that.
What I did instead was, I say about 15, 16, I knew I wasn't going to go pro, so I started hanging around all of the top coaches in Philly. So I would be like their gopher backstage. So I was at all the biggest fights. I was carrying belts. I was learning how to wrap hands. I was learning the rules and regulations, in Philly, Atlantic City, Vegas. Every state you fight in is differently. So every state you fight in, you can wrap the hands differently. You can have a different amount of people in the corner, things like that. So I knew at 16 I wanted to be a coach, so I started focusing on coaching.
That's what's up. So what got you into boxing, in the beginning? Like, how did you even start fighting?
Well, my grandfather fought in the Army. He fought first. He went in originally for World War II, and then in the downtime between World War II and the Korean War, he began to box for the Army. Yeah. So he got out of the Army. My family had no males. I was the first boy to be born in the family in years, so I was the one that he taught to box.
So he pushed you to box, or was it just in you?
We would go visit, and we boxed for fun.
Oh, okay.
So, and when I turned about 7, 8, when I was old enough to go to a gym, my mom took me to my first boxing gym, which was Champs in Philadelphia. It's closed now, I believe.
So how did you end up in Fredericksburg? How did you get here?
My son and his mother, I came in here to be closer to my kids.
Okay.
So I transferred, but I came and got a job with a local sheriff's office before moving to D.C. For work, moving to D.C. to work.
Right.
So I came in here for work. And when I came there originally, I was still fighting, but there were no boxing gyms. So I would go to MMA gyms, and they would give me a free membership to teach their people how to box. So that's how I started. I didn't want to be a coach down here because boxing didn't exist. I was kind of forced into it because there were no other boxing coaches.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, when we first got in contact with each other, I never knew this gym was here.
Yeah.
And to get here and see everything y'all doing, man, y'all turned up in here. Like,
I appreciate it.
There's a lot of kids. You got a lot of fighters ranked.
Yes.
You can speak a little about them.
Yeah, so we'll start from the youngest. We have Taylor Hill. She's just turned 10, ranked number 3 in the country.
Hands and feet. Foot game. I just seen her in here.
The next one would be Bryan, my son. He's 12, 60 pounds, ranked number 9 in the country. Just dropped from number 5. Not because he didn't win, because he didn't fight. So he didn't attend a tournament, so he dropped.
Workhorse. Seen him in work too.
The next one would be Enrico Williams. He's 15. He's 139 pounds. I believe he's ranked number 9. And then we have Javante Tuggle. He just fell off the rankings. He was ranked in the top 10 all last year. Yeah. But once again, that's for inactivity, not for being beat.
So let me ask you this. Like, why is it that they didn't make it to the fight? Like, why didn't they fight?
So it's a lot, like we talked about earlier. So these fights take us away from home and work for about a week and a couple of days. So about 9 days consistently. Yeah. So me personally, if I go to a tournament, 1, I'm off work for 7 days. I'm not getting paid. 2, I know I have dogs. Dogs go to the boarding. That's a $500 bill we get back. My wife goes with us. That's another 7 days of her not getting paid. Then my other coaches, same thing. Coach Junior, he owns a business. If he doesn't work, he doesn't get paid. Same thing with Mac. If Coach Mack doesn't work, he doesn't get paid. We got another coach, he owns a barbershop. If he doesn't work, he doesn't get paid. So we're kind of stuck to the fact that we need to make money, and boxing costs a lot of money. Like these tournaments, I think I'm estimated to be about $5,000 a tournament.
Yeah.
And that's about $3,000 out of pocket, and probably about another 2 to 3 of me not making money for that 2 weeks.
Yeah. So it's basically business. You know? So, what do you see a solution? What's a solution to that?
Solution is we make boxing our job.
Yeah. So we need people to come to this gym right here.
Yeah, boxing becomes our job, then we'll be at every tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, so if it's 4 to 6 tournaments a year, we still make most of them. And when we show up, we get the oh shit face.
Yeah.
When they show up, like when my son walks through the door, all the 65, 60-pound parents talk and point and look.
That's him right there. That's him.
He normally the one to beat.
Yeah.
And then when Rico come, he the one. He don't have as many fights, but he's the one knocking kids' mouthpieces out and stopping kids.
Yeah.
And no one wants to get beat by the kid with one eye.
Yeah.
And no one wants to box a little girl that can actually box. Because you saw her. She doesn't fight like a little girl.
Nah.
She fight like a little boy.
I was scared.
Yeah, so she's pretty sharp.
So. That's amazing itself. The kid with one eye.
Yeah.
You said he knocked somebody's mouthpiece across the.
Well, no, that was the 15-year-old.
Oh,
Wait, no, Tate be getting it in. He normally dominates his fight. Even if he doesn't win, it's normally a dominant loss, if that makes any sense. And a lot of that's due to judging.
Yeah.
But at all his fights, he's been challenged once, and the kid that challenged him is going to be an Olympian for Team Panama. So at all his fights, he's been challenged one time. So he's pretty squared away, especially to have one eye. I mean, he's the only handicap. Well, he's the only boxer in the world that we know of to have that handicap.
Yeah.
So
this gym right here is certified. It's not a game here.
Yeah, we try.
So let me ask you this: like, what type of mentality does it even take to be a boxer? Especially, you being a father, your sons are boxers. Like, what type of pedigree does it take to see your son in there going to war? So, have you ever seen your son in there and you like, damn, he getting hit too many times, I want to get it? Like,
so my standard is a lot higher, right? Like my son would fight and get hit 3 times, and I'm mad.
Yeah.
Because he got hit 3 times. Because in my mind, every time you get hit, is an opportunity to get an 8 count. An 8 count is when you're hit too hard, and then the ref has to jump in and give you a second to get yourself together. Right. Those are opportunities that might sway the judges in the other guy's way. So you getting hit 1 or 2 times clean, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the mindset of a boxer is, it's not like you're not like I'm from Philly. I know a lot of gangsters. Right. I was a narcotics cop. I was raised by a bunch of gangsters. I locked up a bunch of gangsters. It's a different mentality, right? You don't have to be a killer. You don't have to be the most aggressive. It's about like being mentally strong. Like my time as a cop, I was always the smallest one in narcotics or on the SWAT team. And me making these teams, going through all the physical fitness and all of the mental barriers had nothing to do with my stature. It's just mental. You just got to be mentally tough and just don't let anybody break you. Like we've had fighters lose the first round, and then we get in their head and tell them to go in there and get their shit together, and they dominate the next 2 rounds. It's just about being mentally tough.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with how big you are, how strong you are, how much of a menace you are in school. We get kids all the time to come here and they're bullies. They don't last 3 days.
Right.
Because they get beat up by the smallest kid in the class.
Yeah.
They get beat up by the kid with the glasses. They get beat up by the chubby kid that they'll pick on. So it's all about being mentally strong.
So that leads me to my next question. Where did nerdy boxing come from? Like, what made you name your gym that?
Like I was saying, I've always been the same individual, right? I've always been the nerdy, 4-eyed, wear glasses, never tried to hide it. I was an engineering major in school. Then I became a fashion design major. I just always did what I wanted to do. But I was still in West Philly with the gangsters. I still was in the ring with all the supposed killers and dominating a lot of them. Once again, because it's all about mental toughness.
Yeah.
You might be bigger than me. You might be stronger than me. You might be more aggressive than me. But mentally, you can't break me. So that's what it comes down to. It comes down to having an individual that is intelligent enough to know his strengths and his weaknesses and be able to use them against you. So it has nothing to do with you being tough, nothing to do with you being scary. It's all about you mentally consuming your opponent. And then the other aspect of it is we have, hopefully the next 2 or 3 years I'll be a practicing attorney. We got Coach Mack, he has a master's degree. Coach Junior is an expert in I don't want physical therapy, but it's some type of technical term. So everybody here.
And he said he was a nutritionist.
I'm saying, so everybody here is very mentally sound
and
educated on top of boxing.
Yeah.
So, but normally the mindset, if you watch this Saturday or next Saturday, the Saturday after that, if you watch these fighters, they always portray boxers that come from these horrible neighborhoods.
Like they gangsters.
Yeah, the gangster, and their parents, they were raised in halfway houses, and it's a different side of the coin. Like, my son's one of the best fighters in the world. He lives between houses with 2-car garages, and his mom drives around in a Volvo. His stepmother drives around in an Altima,
Yeah.
So he doesn't come from anywhere, any situation like that. Same thing with Coach Mack, same thing with Junior. None of our kids come from that type of background. Not saying there's anything wrong with that.
I think it's probably just more glorified because you like an underdog and nobody expects you to be anything. And then when you get there, it's a great story.
Definitely, and I totally understand it. And the crazy thing is, a lot of our coaches, we come from that.
Yeah.
I come from that. Junior comes from that. Matt comes from that. Coach Carlos comes from that.
That's a win in itself, that y'all kids didn't have to come from what y'all came from.
Our kids know absolutely nothing about that.
Exactly.
So that's like one of the pluses of coming from down here. But originally, you see, because at the Nationals, above your fighter, they'll have red corner, blue corner, Bradley Mabry or Enrico Williams, and they'll say Fredericksburg, Virginia. And originally we get where the fuck is Fredericksburg, Virginia?
Yeah.
Right? But now they know, when Fredericksburg show up, they know Fredericksburg a problem.
Yeah.
But originally it was, oh my God, it's Fredericksburg. Like, what the fuck is that at?
Yeah.
But it was always D.C. And we never mattered. But everybody knows nationally who we are.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this, like, how important is weight classes in boxing?
Oh, very important.
Because they say, like, they want Crawford to go up and fight Charlo, and do you think Spence was too weak? He was too spent to fight.
Styles definitely make fights. See, it's different in pros because a lot of these people that fight at smaller weight classes are actually a lot bigger than they are.
They walk around weight maybe 20, 30 pounds
exactly
more.
So weight cutting or weight classes a lot of time is you're supposed to have an advantage, right? So like back to my boy, he's 60 pounds, 65 pounds. He's good enough to fight at 70, 80, but a lot of the coaches know that they know his ability. So they're going to send their kid in there to be overly aggressive, hold and grab, which puts us at a disadvantage. Right. So we keep him as small as possible because it makes the playing field even.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with Mac's son. The kids at the lower weights were he had to deplete his speed and his abilities to go down that weight. We go up to 140 or 139. He's a lot faster, a lot stronger, and just a better fighter. Yeah. So depending on the fighter, depends on what weight they should be at. Like we just moved Tay up to 139 because we're trying to make the Olympic team. There was no 132 in the Olympics, so we were forced to go to 139.
How did that affect him?
It made him a little slower because he was fighting bigger people that hit him harder.
Yeah.
I think we were a lot more dominant at 132, but it's the USA boxing. They took 132 out the Olympics.
So he had to go up to get his, and a lot of them had to come down to get theirs.
Or they were already there. Because, he's fighting at 132, trying to compete against the best fighters in the world at 139.
Right.
That already been at 139.
Yeah.
He was ranked in the top 5 at the time, or top 3 at the time. But you're still fighting people that have been there for the last 4 years. Okay. So it made it a lot harder for him.
So let me ask you this. Y'all got an upcoming fight. What's the process? What does that look like? What's the environment in the gym look like? What's the vibes?
So
y'all got to fight Saturday and say it's Wednesday.
Okay, so like a local fight.
Say y'all going to
So nationals.
Nationals.
So nationals is different. So like a local fight is business as usual. We'll treat it like sparring. We drive an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, and it's nothing. But for the nationals, these kids, they're going to fight for the whole weekend. I'm sorry, the whole week. They're going to make weight for the whole week. They're going to weight cut for the whole week. So mentally, we prepare them maybe a month or 2 months ahead of time just to get them prepared to deal with those stresses on their bodies, both physically and mentally.
Right.
So we'll cut the amounts that they eat. We cut out all of the fun things. So they're not staying up late. They're not eating junk food, things like that. And the sparring increases. We handicap them. Like I'll tell them you can only use one hand, or you need to spar 3 rounds. You can't use a hand at all, and you better not get touched. The running is amped. We have a Saturday routine where my boy, he swims, treads water for 15 minutes, runs on treadmills, weight trains. So they work a lot harder to keep up nationally because their body needs to maintain that killer instinct for the entire week. It's not a one-day event. So it's like preparing these kids for war, but consistently. War might be a quick little battle. These kids are fighting for the whole weekend, making weight for the whole week. Like they literally get out the ring, celebrate the win, and run right to the coach's area, which is like it's an area where it's rings and bags so the kids can stay in shape all week. So they'll get out the ring, like with the sweat from the fight that happened 5 minutes ago, and they're back to jumping rope to lose the weight again. Yeah. So it's a very demanding.
So how many fights would they have in that week?
Depending on how many people get in their bracket.
Yeah. So would they fight more than once a day?
No, not anymore. No. So now it's once a day, but they could fight every day for 6 days, 5 days. Yeah. We had Tay fought 4 days. He fought like 5 out of the 6 days. Yeah. Rico fought 4 out of the 6 days. My son fought 2 out of the. So it depends on how many people are in the weight class. So if you keep winning, you keep fighting.
So, as far as the competition, like who do you see like that could challenge your son? Like, is there any kids, the names stick out?
So
the same way that when your son get there, everybody like, dang, he right there, that's him right there. Is it anybody else?
Same weight, absolutely not. If they're in there with my son and they're 65 pounds, it's probably gonna be an easy fight. Even if we don't win. We've never lost a fight and people not disagree with the decision. He's normally very dominant. His problem is he fights he fights like a little pro, so that kind of turns some people off. Yeah, like he a lot of times make people look so bad. He's
saucy. He got a lot of sauce.
A lot of depending on what the judges is, they don't like that. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, if Briley's in the ring and he's fighting, he's gonna dominate whoever he fights.
Who does he remind you of? What vibes does he give you? As a pro.
So my favorite fighter is Rasheem Warren, the kid from Cincinnati, 3-time Olympian. Somebody like that. If you go home and Google, I'm gonna have to go Google. Rasheem. So YouTube Rasheem Warren amateurs, and you'll see him and Rigondeaux from Cuba. So they're both little like pint-sized guys, but they're fast, quick feet. So that's who I modeled them after. Yeah. Because he's at a disadvantage because of his size. So he has to be fast and quick. Whereas though Enrico Williams, he doesn't need to be. As I would tell him in the beginning, you don't need to be as fast as Browley. You don't need to have feet as quick as Browley's. Like your gift is different. Browley's gift is speed. Yeah. Your gift is power. So you can literally sit there and not move as much and dominate everybody. Yeah. And like you saw our little girl, she, Taylor Hill, she boxes better than almost any girl she gets in there with.
She's saucy.
Yeah, I'm saying. So, and she's only 5 fights in?
Dang.
Taylor's 5 fights in? 6 fights? Yeah, she's 6 fights in. And she's only lost to girls, so she's number 3. She's only lost to the 1 and 2 girl in the country. Yeah. Yeah, everybody else is not on her level. Her first fight, she TKO'd a girl.
Damn.
Yeah, so Taylor, all of our kids, they got it. The ones that don't stick around long.
What is so special about this gym is what I want to know. Y'all got 7 ranked fighters?
Right now we got 5. Oh, 5? we got a girl that's not here.
This is in the country. You know what I'm saying? It ain't local shit. This is in the country.
So I would say a lot of it is based off of we attack it from every angle, right? So we have um, Coach Mack, who's a ref, right? So he has read and understands every scoring criteria, and he knows what he has personal relationships with judges, both nationally and internationally, and he knows what they want to look for. So he brings that knowledge in here, and then when they spar, that's why he was in the ring earlier.
Yeah.
He'll critique them why he's sparring. Well, I'm sorry, why they're sparring.
Right.
So they're turning their hands over the correct way. So they're having aggressions and the right points of the bout. So that's one thing that we have that most people don't have.
That's what I saw when somebody fell. They was like, "You behind now? You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta
catch
go."
up. It's a constant. Like in here, you're competing every time you get in there.
Yeah.
You know, then we have Coach Junior. He's gonna make sure that you're loose and limber. My man brings 1,000 physical therapy tools to the fight. So you going in there like you getting full massages and everything.
Dang.
You know. So then when we go to events, I do all the cooking. So that depends on the individual's nutritional requirements. You know, if they need to make weight or if they need to put on more weight. Like Enrico Williams, he's always closer to the next weight class, so we got to pump him up. Whereas though my son, he's normally on the scale and he's only under by ounces. So if he needs to be 60 pounds, he's normally getting on the scale at 60 or like 59 point something. So he can't eat as much as the other kids. And all that is maintained. And we'll have Coach Carlos. He's walking around the house at 4:30 in the morning, make sure everybody gets up and make sure everybody is where they're supposed to be at every time. Like we run our local gym like professionals run a 6 to 8 week camp for a world championship bout.
Right.
So I think that's where, like this shit to us isn't part time. Like we travel. Like right now, I think I got 2 scales in my car. He probably got a scale or 2 in his car, a scale here, and we'll sit there and we'll cross-reference all 4 scales to make sure that your weight is exactly where it need to be. We just think on a different level, basically.
So what would you say? Well, like, what is it? Is it 2 other gyms in the area in the same kind of the radius, or?
Well, there's one. None of them compete, but I mean, there's a gym.
Oh, none of them compete.
No, not really. No,
Oh.
not like us. Nothing like it.
So that's really what separates this gym from the rest of them.
Well, one, our competitors, the one gym not too far from here, they had one ranked fighter. He was originally mine. I cut him. So we're responsible for every ranked fighter within an hour's drive anywhere near here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no one competing with us as far as putting out a product. Like they won't even compete at that level, because when you compete at that level, it tells the country where you are and where you're not.
So let me ask you, like, what's the ultimate goal for y'all? I know I was talking to your partner earlier. He was saying the goal is to kind of expand, get bigger, like kind of be the spot in Virginia.
Yeah. So my goal would be to rival the Olympic Training Center in Colorado, where kids that don't have the opportunity to make it to Colorado or aren't being looked at in Colorado, because like I tell everybody, the best fighters don't always go to the nationals.
Yeah.
Every fighter can't afford $3,000 a week to fight when you get nothing in return. You know, so there's a lot of kids throughout the country that are solid that will never get the opportunity to see. And it's like for example, Crawford wasn't an Olympian. You know, who else? The Charlo brothers weren't Olympians. What's the other one? Boots wasn't an Olympian. You know, it's a lot of kids that are solid that never made it to that level, and a lot of them are surpassing the kids that have.
Yeah.
So it would be our goal to have a facility where these kids all have that opportunity. You know, you'll come here and you'll have in the future tutors. You know, you'll have nutritionists, you'll have physical therapists, you'll have individuals that are experts in weight training and everything. You know, boxing historians, all kind of stuff. So basically, I don't know if you ever, once again, Google like the UFC Academy and what is it, Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like that in combat sports. Like, UFC fighters are treated like gold. You know, you have everything. So it'd be my goal to have something like that for boxers.
Yeah.
You know, and then those boxers, they progress, they turn pro, they turn pro under us, and it's business as usual.
So let me ask you, what is it going to take to get there? Have y'all ever thought about kind of collabing with other gyms just to become bigger?
Well, so the issue with collabing, at least with the gyms in this area,
Or was it like a little competition type of thing?
I mean, I wish it was competition, honestly, but
You want to fight?
they not on that level. The problem is that our mindset and our requirements are so much higher than people.
They want to do it for fun, and y'all want to really do it.
They want to do it for Instagram. Like they shoot a lot of Instagram promo videos, but no one over there is consistently fighting. No one in the area is consistently winning. You know, like I tell my son, I don't give a shit. Like we win, but I don't give a shit about the win. The only win that matters to me is the Olympic gold medal.
Right.
Like, all the other shit goes in my garage. And you went to my house, you'll see a box of dusty belts and trophies. Like none of that matters.
Yeah.
Only thing matters is the mountaintop, where a lot of those people are happy winning local bouts. That means nothing to us.
So that's winning to you the Olympics.
Yeah, winning to us is dominating the sport at that level. So the highest level that we can make it to in elite is to be an Olympian. Okay. The highest level we can make it to as an intermediate is being a national champion. So the highest level we'll make it as pros is being a world champion. Yeah. So whatever level we're at is our goal collectively to be the best at that level.
Yeah.
So, like there's no high school boxing. There's no college boxing. So our steps are amateurs and pros, and there's different levels of pros. You got some pros that pay for fights. Then you got some pros that sign $1 million signing bonuses to turn pro.
Yeah.
So we want to be those pros.
Y'all want to sign $1 million?
Yeah, we want the $1 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
We don't want to pay you $500 for you to show up as a bum and beat you.
Yeah.
That means nothing to us.
So what does that look like? Like, what's the process to do that? Just become bigger, get more recognition, just to
continue to do what we're doing.
Keep winning.
Continue to keep winning. Continue to like my child can't get a fight. Same thing with his daughter. His daughter can't get a fight anywhere near here.
Yeah.
But they only fight nationally. So that's the goal. The goal is to stay on people's mind and what does Coach Carlos say? Keep getting on his nerves. To stay annoying. Like if they're avoiding us, that to me that it's a plus. It's annoying, but at the same time it's a plus. So as long as we're at that level where you don't wanna fuck with us, because you know what's gonna happen, then I'm happy.
I mean, look how long they avoided Crawford.
Exactly. Nationally, you got to see us.
Yeah.
Once you sign up, you got to fight.
Yeah.
But these local fights, they can pull out. Like we drove all the way to Georgia for my son to fight. They waited to the day of the fight to pull their guy out. We cut weight all week. They were trying to see if he showed up, because if he didn't show up, then they would move on to the nationals without fighting. Yeah. Soon they saw him get on the scale, they pulled their guy out. Right, and this happens to all of them, collectively. If a nerdy boxing fighter shows up, it's gonna be a problem getting them a fight.
Dang. Whew, I'm convinced, bro.
So
let me ask you this: this gym right here, we in the ring right now. This is real.
Mm-hmm.
There's no AC in here.
No.
That's for a reason, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be hot and miserable. And when you fight, you gonna get a minute break after every round. It's probably gonna be air conditioned.
I feel it.
You're getting water, and here we push you to your breaking point.
I like this. This feel like the trenches right here.
Yeah, we push you to your breaking point.
There's blood in this ring. I promise you.
It actually is.
Yeah, and throw up too.
Yeah. So it's my goal to make you as miserable as possible. Like when they make Navy SEALs and Special Forces operators and SWAT team members, they know you can't do 1 million push-ups. They know you can't run 400 miles, but are you going to die trying?
Yeah.
So we just want kids that's going to die trying. We're not going to let you die, but we want to push you to that point to where that little 3-round bout is nothing compared to running 3 miles in 110-degree weather.
Yeah.
And sparring with full sweatsuits on, and 90-degree weather, and swimming, and doing 500-meter swims and getting up and running 2 miles right after that, with wetsuits on. That's the type of shit our kids do.
Okay, so you have all like elite fighters. There's elite fighters in this gym right here.
Yes, sir.
So what would make, a parent want to bring their first time fighter to this gym?
Well,
Should they be scared? Like, damn,
no.
they gonna do this to my baby.
We gonna make your child, depending on your age, we gonna make your child like you used to be. Like, I didn't grow up with being able to whine and tell my mom what I wasn't gonna do. Like, we got kids that might get out the car cursing their mama out. They'll never come in here and try that shit.
Yeah.
So we deliver a lot of discipline to kids that might not get it. Like, for years, I've had parents call me to discipline their kids. Like, they did bad in school. They don't handle it. They call me, call coach. So we offer discipline that parents might not be able to deliver otherwise. And we're not gonna beat them. We don't hit them, but they gonna work, and they a lot of them would rather be hit than run 3 miles in 90-degree weather.
Yeah.
Rather get a quick ass whooping.
It's funny you say that though, cause I know this lady right now. All she know is her son need his ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
She looking for a gym.
Come get it whooped.
I'm here scouting for.
Yeah.
He gonna come here.
How big is he?
He 11 years old.
Uh-huh.
He a big boy.
Okay. How much you weigh?
I don't know. I can't.
We got somebody for him. If he
a big boy. He tall.
Okay.
He a big.
We got somebody for him.
He a big 11.
That's cool.
She wants somebody to whoop his ass.
We got somebody for him.
All right.
We definitely got somebody for him.
I'm sure you do.
This is the place to.
Shorty right with the your son.
Yeah,
and that'd be ugly because he's small.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, depending on how big he is, my son can probably handle him. Taylor can probably handle him. And if he's like one of those super big kids, we'll put the bigger kids in and tell them just don't go as hard.
Yeah.
But, he definitely gets ass whooped. We'll definitely set a bully straight. We'll definitely put your child in the right mindset.
Yeah.
But I tell everybody, being a fighter or being a boxer has nothing to do, like we spoke earlier, about being this aggressive individual. And you might not ever fight, you might not never turn pro. But me personally, when I walk in it, look at me. I'm a old, gray-haired, four-eyed individual, scruffy on purpose.
So
right?
if you get to arguing with somebody at Walmart, they think
no, not at all. I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about
they think they're gonna do something.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But as far as life, like when I walk into a job interview, like I know I'm gonna get the job. I'm confident I'm gonna get the job. If I walk into, I'm married now, but if I in the past, when they talk to women, they talk to people, it's just a confidence that, that oozes from them because of this. So it's not all about boxing. We got a lot of kids that have never had a fight, but just being confident, being able to speak to people, and being able to get on in life, a lot of that comes from this.
So was it ever too late to get in the gym?
No, absolutely not.
What's the oldest that you took on?
We have Kenny is in his 40s. He's about to fight in the National Master Championship.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but we got a 50-year-old female. She was having some medical issues. We working with her. She lost how much? 20, 30 pounds? Something crazy. The 40-year-old, he lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Like I said, everybody has different goals. Some people want to fight. Some people want to get in shape.
Yeah.
It depends on whatever your goal is. But you're never too old to start. Never too young to start. I got a 1-year-old at home now that trains every day.
Yeah.
She don't know she's training, but she puts on her little gloves and she smacks me in the face, smacks my hand, and I guarantee you by the time she's 4 or 5, she's gonna be daily.
Yeah.
That's what I did with him. He's been boxing long that he could use the bathroom by himself.
Yeah.
So
as far as lifting weights and stuff like that, people say kids shouldn't lift weights or stunts their growth, this and that. How do you feel about that?
So I'm not a medical doctor or expert on lifting weights. So we lift, my son personally, he lifts weights more as a confidence builder. Right? So if I'm in a corner and he's getting pushed around by a bigger kid, and I'll say, motherfucker, you bench press 125 pounds. You squat 200 pounds. This motherfucker is 75. Then he'll go in there and throw that motherfucker across the ring. Yeah. So for me, it's more mental.
How old was it when he first started lifting?
Bryan's been lifting on and off. We don't do. He's just recently started like the barbell type lifting. Yeah. I would give him like a 45-pound plate and make him walk around with it, make him do sit-ups with it, push-ups with it on his back. Like he's been squatting 45-pound plates before he was 45 pounds.
Nice.
Now he'll manhandle a 45-pound plate.
Yeah.
So, and he do a lot of all the kids. We don't really use weights, but they'll do body weights, squats, pull-ups, things like that. Dips.
That's a myth anyway. From what I mean, I'm not a doctor either. But
Yeah,
they say that shit ain't true.
I think it depends on the individual, what the fighter needs.
Yeah.
You got some kids or some individuals that might be a lot weaker. It just depends on, and it depends on who you're fighting. It depends on what weight class you're fighting at.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want a super, buff 125 pounder.
They can't wipe his ass.
Yeah, but I might want a buff heavyweight with a lot of puncher power.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to exude so much energy. So it depends on the individual and the situation.
So let me ask you. I gotta know this. Like, who your favorite boxer? Who? Not the. I'm gonna say, who was your favorite heavyweight? Let's say that.
So not to be disrespectful, but the heavyweights to me are a division of less talented individuals that get over. They don't have to work as hard. They don't have to be as fast. They don't have to be as good. But people like to see big guys knock out big guys.
Cause one hit and
that's not really my thing. But if I had to pick a heavyweight to be the best heavyweight, maybe like a Joe Louis. He was light on his feet. A young Mike Tyson. But once again, that's still not my type of boxing.
Well, who's the greatest fighter of all time?
Sugar Robinson.
Hands down?
Hands down. I mean, his weight, I think he had like 211 fights or 219 fights, 11 losses, something crazy like that. He had 200 something wins. Like he fought from, if I'm not mistaken, featherweight to heavyweight. They wouldn't let him fight for the championship at lightweight, so he had to go up to heavyweight and won a title, or middleweight, something like that. But he's fought a lot of weight classes. You can't compare a Sugar Robinson to anybody.
So what about Floyd? What do you think about Floyd Mayweather?
I mean, Floyd is a very good fighter, but it's just, will Floyd be Floyd?
Is Floyd is really the best? I mean, a perfect.
In my opinion, no. But I mean, would Floyd be Floyd if he fought? What's his name? Hagler, Hearns. What's the other one? Sugar Ray Leonard. He just came in an era, and he's supposed to. I mean, in my opinion, amateur boxing is where you prove you're the best. Because you put your name in a hat, you fight all week, you fight future world champions, future Olympians, and you see where you pop out at the end of it. But professional boxing, you pick and choose who you want to fight. If you come out to amateurs and you're highly rated, you're gonna have an easier career than the kid that's a nobody that has to fight his way through.
Yeah.
So, to me, the true dynamos in boxing are the successful amateurs, the Rigondeaux. They had like 400 and some amateur fights. Same thing with
that's wild.
Yeah, same thing with Lomachenko. Who? Yeah, Lomo. What's the other one? Rigondeaux. It's not Clarissa Shields, 2-time Olympian. You don't do shit like that unless you're phenomenal. And the problem is you don't make the money, and fans don't follow amateur boxing. Yeah. So it's a lot of people you would never know. Like I said, one of my favorite fighters ever is Rasheem Warren. He's a little guy, 119 pounds, 112 pounds maybe. He's a 3-time Olympian. There's never been an individual in American history that's made the Olympics 3 times. Like, I'm telling you, Google Rasheem Warren.
I promise. When
Crazy.
I leave out here, I'm locked. YouTube.
Bad dude.
So with that being said, like, how do you feel about the direction of the sport of boxing? I mean, do you feel like it's turning up? Because it kind of died a little bit about.
So I think that the
6 years ago. Or so.
I think that talent is not as important. And if you look at,
everybody's scared to lose a fight.
Definitely that, but I think the talent isn't as important isn't as important. Like Wilder was a horrible fighter, but everyone forgot about that and forgave him because he knocked everybody out.
Yeah.
Spence to me was never a great fighter, right? And he got exposed by an individual that was incredibly highly skilled. Ryan Garcia, not really a great fighter. He's being put in there with people that he can beat. He fights tanks, doesn't last, gets destroyed, starts getting destroyed first round.
Yeah.
So I think that highly skilled fighters are a thing of the past and are now coming back and being given their just due. Like that's why Floyd is considered TBE, because who else in that era was as good as Floyd? It really was just Floyd.
Yeah.
Like Pacquiao, amazing, 8 division champion and all that, but skill wise, still wasn't a Floyd. De La Hoya was over the hill. Sugar Shane Mosley was over the hill. Everybody he fought with the name were over the hill. So that's what I'm saying. So Floyd was still a great fighter.
Floyd said something interesting. I was watching the interview. He said, they say Pacquiao was old when I fought him.
Mm-hmm.
But Mayweather 3 years older than Pacquiao.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It depends on how you, like Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins fought into almost, I don't know if he broke 50 fighting. Did he? He's fighting to his 50s. So Bernard Hopkins old, is it going to be a Pacquiao old?
This is true.
Bernard Hopkins doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. So it's all subjective depending on the individual that you're fighting. It's just, to me, Floyd fought individuals that he could dominate. With the exception of like Diego Corrales. That right there was amazing. He dominated. But all of his other notable wins were individuals that could have been perceived to be over the hill. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not a great fighter. And I mean, it's great business. My goal is to get my son and my other fighters to the heights of amateur boxing. And when they turn pro, is to nickel and dime the people like everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to put you in there with a bunch of bums, and we're going to make as much money as possible because the sport is unforgiving, and we're going to ride off in the sunset.
Yeah.
So I'm not into you being a Hall of Famer. I don't give a shit about you being a Hall of Famer if you got $100 million in the bank.
Ain't no question.
So and I think that's Floyd's mindset.
I think Floyd is so much of a defensive fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He don't give you too many oohs and ahs unless you really watch it. If you watch it in slow motion, you be like, damn, I ain't even see that.
He barely getting hit, yeah.
He touching you. He knocking.
Floyd's a great fighter. I just think that fighters in the past have done a lot more. And the other thing is, a lot of these fighters fought a lot longer than Floyd because they had to.
Yeah.
They weren't. If Floyd wasn't making $300 million a fight, Floyd might still be fighting.
Hell yeah, he'll still be fighting.
If Floyd was making $1 million a fight, Floyd would probably still be fighting.
Yeah.
These fighters weren't making $300 million a fight.
Yeah.
$400 million a fight. So they fought a lot longer.
So what you think about Gervonta Davis?
Do
you think he's highly skilled, or he's just a big hitter?
So I think both, but I think in his division, the people they put him in with, you don't have to see his skill. I mean, because you look at the fights prior to Ryan Garcia, he lost almost every round before knocking him out. Look at Ryan Garcia, he won every round. He dominated him. I think in Tank's mind, he had to step up his skill, so he brought it out. I think the other fights he didn't have to.
So what you think a fight with him and Shakur Stevenson look like?
Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion, is a lot more skilled with professional boxing, and Tank hits a lot harder. So to me, that's a 50-50 fight.
So can he survive?
Can you survive 12 rounds and not get hit? That's gonna be hard because Tank is very explosive. He's very quick in the inside, and he goes from 0 to 100 extremely fast. So can you deal with that? Yeah. We don't know.
I saw Tank say he'll knock out Bud Crawford.
No, that's once again
the weight classes for a reason.
This is an attempt, in my opinion, to make a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a ridiculous.
Do you think that could ever happen? You think they would ever fight?
I mean, what's his name? Spence fought Mikey Garcia. They were what, 4 weight classes apart, 5 weight classes apart. Easy money. He won, but he got the money. Rigondeaux fought Lomachenko. They were way apart in weight classes. Yeah. If the money's on the table, they'll fight, and you just gotta be okay with losing.
Is there any fighter in the world better than Crawford right now? Is he that good of a fighter, or was Spence off? Something wrong with him? Like, is he really that good that he just whooped his ass, like he beat his ass, like he wasn't who he was supposed to be?
The fact that he made Spence, just people understand, you're talking about like the pound for pound list. So this is a list compiled by boxing experts and boxers and fans that actually follow the sport. They all put these guys on this totem pole.
That's who's been promoted. Yeah. Like that's who the people like me that's not all the way in the boxing.
He made him look like he was nobody.
Right.
So you have to at right now say he's the greatest, in my opinion. And I don't think there's anybody mess with him. Man, my man, I don't know him personally, but I know his brothers. I grew up with his brothers. Jerron Ennis, amazing. I think skill-wise might be the only person to give him some run right now. But once again, that's going to be a steep mountain to climb.
What about Boots?
That's Boots. Sharon Ennis.
That's who you talking
yep,
about?
That's Boots.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think that's the only person that can give him some rumble. Anybody else, he's going to dominate.
Give him some rumble, or can he whoop his ass? What's your prediction? It might happen.
But before the fight, because those are my people, I was 100% Boots. But like watching that to me was like watching Michael Jordan get dominated, or like somebody at the top of a sport getting dominated, like they didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like what if Kobe dominated Jordan? It would spoil Jordan's, his historic value. So I think the fact that Crawford did what he did to Spence, it just has to elevate him to a higher level. Because you guys were saying that Spence was the man and Spence was unbeatable, and now they're trying to say all the bullshit that the car accident, he beat Danny Garcia.
The man fought 2 fights in between the damn car.
He cracked what's his name's face all up, Ugas' face. So yeah, he just got beat by a way better fighter.
Yeah.
I just think I think Crawford right now is just.
What does a rematch look like?
Once again, business-wise, it makes sense for Crawford, because if he fights, the only one that makes sense outside of Spence would be Boots, but that's too much of a risk.
He said he want Charlo.
Once again,
if he go up,
this is easy fights.
You think Charlo is an easy fight to go up to 154?
So if you know anything about boxing, sparring between these top fighters, rumors get out to everybody. So the rumors have it that Spence beats the shit out of Charlo when training. Right. Boxing's a very small community. So Crawford's getting this information. So he feels confident in this for some reason. So, yeah, I think he'll dominate him too.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be an easy fight.
I mean, you have it right here.
So
this is the prediction. We're going to mark this shit.
Yeah, but once again, business-wise, what I would do is I would blow up Crawford's win as being a fluke, because Spence was drained and smaller. And forced to come down a high weight. Just got through an accident. They had proper time to rehabilitate himself. Convince half the world that he has a chance. Go to 154 and beat his ass again.
I think the accident shit is out.
Yeah,
he fought 2 fights in between.
Exactly, but if you can convince the rest of the world,
yeah,
you can make that money again and take no risk.
People think it got to be a reason for that fight to look like that.
Yeah,
that shit was ugly.
He'll beat his ass again. It's like the reason we had 3 Tyson Fury versus Wilder. He beat Wilder after the first fight. Shouldn't have been a draw.
Yeah.
He beat his ass the second fight. Shouldn't have been a third fight. Beat his ass the third fight. Like, it's easy money.
Let me ask you, what do you think about the Haney fight? The Devin Haney.
To me, Haney is a product.
Did you think he won that fight?
No, I thought Haney lost.
I thought he got his ass whooped too, bro.
I thought Haney lost. But Haney's when you talk about business again, Haney's worth more money. Haney's young. Lomachenko's on his way out. So you're going to make more money with Haney having the belts than you're going to have Lomachenko. Lomachenko going to fight maybe one more fight and then retire. Where Haney, you can keep feeding them bums and consistently make millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I just think it was a business decision made. Yeah. You're 24-year-old, 22-year-old champion losing to almost a 40-year-old, 35-year-old man. He might have another 2 years fighting competitively. It makes no sense. Haney has another 10.
And in this world of boxing, one loss, Floyd fucked it up for everybody. Yeah. One loss, you just nobody how they carry you.
Haney is your best bet for higher paydays in the future.
Your prize winner.
Yeah. So Haney's gonna fight more. He's able to fight more. You can consistently make money with him. Lomachenko, not so much. Lomachenko's also a lot quieter, a lot more reserved. He's older. Haney's on Instagram. He's with the girls. He's with the jewelry. He's with the clothes. He's gonna bring in that younger demographic. Whereas though Lomachenko was not.
Yeah.
So business-wise, it's just better to go with Haney. That's why he's going up.
So he should have knocked Haney ass out if he wanted to win.
Yeah, he had to knock Haney out. Now Haney might get his ass beat his next fight.
Who was the next fight?
What's his? I was Progos. I was forget mess up his name pronunciation. What's his first name? Yeah. He's a kid from Louisiana originally. I think he had one loss, but he's scrappy. But he's a safer fight than Lomachenko too, and definitely a safer fight than Shakur Stevens. That's why he went up. Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's just an easier fight. Not saying you're gonna win, but you got a better chance of winning.
That's what's up, man. You know, I appreciate you letting me come to the gym. Showing me your kids' work is really a special thing you got going on here, man. I just want to put light on it. If anybody got their kids that need their ass whooped, want to come to the gym, or you want to work out, you want your kid to be a fighter, or you want to be a fighter,
we got it.
This the place for you. But before we go, I want you to say something to the future fighters, you know, not even fighters, just people in general, just motivational, you know, just a message that you want to get across. Is there anything on your heart that you want to say?
See, the thing, I'm not real motivational. I would say just stop bitching about it and fix it. It's a lot of shit. We got a lot of bills. We got a lot of drama in our lives. Just get it over with. Your life is too short. Like I wanted, my dream was to be a cop, right? I know some of y'all probably gonna laugh.
That was your dream?
It was my dream. My dream was to be a cop. I became a cop, and in 5 years, I did what I thought was gonna take me to do 30, and I was tired of it, right? Now I want to be an attorney, so I'm heading down that road to be an attorney. And I say that to say that you can do whatever you want, right? Like some people think it's crazy. Like why would you first you this, now you that, now you that? Who gives a fuck? Like you live one life. I mean, before I had my latest daughter, I was enrolled. Well, I was about to be enrolled to be a physician. I was going to Grenada. I was going to be a doctor. I was going to spend 3 years over there, 3.5 years over there, learning how to be a doctor. Why? Is it crazy? Absolutely. When you think of the normal sense of the way we're raised, you know, you're supposed to pick what you want to be for the rest of your life in elementary school and middle school. So for somebody that wanted to be a cop his whole life, I became a cop. I was done with it in 5 years. You know, I was in narcotics in 1. I was on a SWAT team in 5. You know, I have a bunch of awards, but so I became a cop at 21. I was done with it by 27. I got a long life to live past that. So what do? You find something else you want to do. And right now what's on my mind is I want to be a physician. I can't be because I have a daughter I got to stay here for and other kids. So I want to be an attorney. That's something I can do, still be home and still take care of my business in the gym, on the road, and everything else. So if you have dreams, get it done. I mean, you got motherfuckers that spent 25 years in jail and then came out and did what they wanted. Own businesses, they got an education, all kind of stuff. Like nothing in this world should hold you back. Life is too short. Like, you can be wherever the fuck you want to be. Don't let nobody tell you. I was making $20 an hour as a deputy, and something just said, jump on Google and see how to get back in college. I was enrolled in college in less than 2 days. Tested out of all of the basic classes. I was a college student the next week. I was enrolled. I started the next week. Now, I didn't think I made enough money. A year later, I'm in D.C. Almost tripled my salary. Not because I'm nothing special. Not at all. I just understand that you have a very short window in life. I mean, statistically speaking, men live to be 70, females live to be 75. Statistically, they want you to. I started working when I was 14. Retirement age is what, 65? So you might have 5 years of life to do what the fuck you want after retirement if you follow the way that the world has told you you're supposed to live your life. No, fuck that. Like, if you want to stop working today and open up a food truck, open up a fucking food truck.
Damn, why you say that?
That's what you want to do? That's
what I did, bro.
My man. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
exactly.
Crazy.
And you got freedom now.
I stopped this shit in like January, but it just opened last weekend.
Okay. Then we got another coach. Boom. We got another coach. He was doing some shit in Richmond. Coach Carlos, he said fuck it. He was tired of, dealing with the corporate world. He opened a barbershop. He runs a barbershop in what's name? Coach Junior, he opened a mobile detailing place. Right? Coach Mack, what do you have? He's a sports management company.
Everybody boss is here.
Like he literally, we had one of the kids. It was close to turning pro, and he took his master's degree in sports management, and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go get an LLC and start a sports management company." He did this shit in like a week.
Yeah.
Right? No more than a week. Like it's literally that simple.
I did 3 business. Like this one of them.
That's what I'm saying. It's whatever
You definitely can stop being a slave, stop working
Listen.
and make somebody else's dreams come true.
Exactly.
And do what the fuck you want to do.
Exactly.
Make your shit. Do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You gonna live once. You gonna die. Don't work for somebody 20 years and wake up and it's time to get in the box.
It's crazy. Like I think
you ain't even gonna know you about to die. You just gonna wake up and
you ain't gonna wake up, or you gonna get a car accident,
wake up.
or you gonna get a disease. Like I think
Yeah.
my company pays me $48 an hour, right? And I'm sure people looking at this like, oh my God, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Man, you know how much the president of my company get paid?
How
Millions.
much time they taking from him?
You know what I mean? I
How
gotta
much shit
ask
he gotta
permission
take?
to take a
No,
fucking vacation.
I can't take off. I can't make it to your fight, baby
Exactly.
boy. I can't make it to the game. I gotta
Exactly.
go to work.
Fuck these people.
Yeah, fuck them people.
Fuck
bro.
these people. What Corona should have showed you that. Y'all motherfuckers sat home for 2 years, ain't do shit, and y'all still alive. Y'all still ate. Y'all still have roofs over y'all head. There's definitely ways out here to be successful without following the status quo that's been set for us.
That's a fact.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm still half a slave to corporate America. I work for a corporate company. And in my defense, I work 3 days a week. You know, I got rest of my time to myself.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get rid of those motherfuckers. Those 3 days, fuck them. Because those 3
Yeah.
days, they get the fuck on my nerves.
Yeah.
You know? So.
You got it figured out, bro.
It is what it
You
is.
definitely playing chess. You
And-
are not playing checkers. I
And
swear
that's
to God.
literally the reason why I go so hard with my son. I tell my son, he doesn't understand. I'm like, bruh, we had a conversation about me having to ask permission to not go to work if I was sick. Yeah. What
Yeah.
you mean? I'm like, yeah, if I'm sick, I just don't stay home. I gotta call a motherfucker. I gotta call a phone number. They're gonna put me on hold. They'll put me with this person, and I got basically hope I got enough time and permission. I'm gonna get in trouble for staying home because I'm sick.
And don't be sick too many days.
Don't be, or if I want to go on vacation, I gotta ask permission, and they gotta make sure that it don't fuck up their business to let me off. Like it's my goal to hope that he never has to work for anybody else except himself.
Yeah.
So if it come with throwing punches, I'm okay with him going in the ring and throwing punches and being successful and being able to feed himself instead of working for 50 years of his life
And
to
doing some
have
shit that you don't want
5
to
years
do.
of freedom.
Yeah.
You know, I got friends that retired in Philly. They worked 35 years. They was probably retired for about 6 months till they realized they realized that their retirement wasn't enough money. Now they security guards in Philly, risking their life again after risking their life for 35 years in Philly Police Department. It's crazy.
It feel like when people retire, they die.
Yeah.
Something about the government, bro. When you retire and that shit, you die.
Exactly.
About 5 years later, like you say.
Statistically speaking, you only got 5 years after you retire. So why not live your life to the fullest?
For sure.
That's it.
Nerdy boxing, man. I'm here with the good man.
Appreciate it.
Make your next move your best move. We out of here.